Hey everyone, my name is Omi and I'm the Arc of Truth, and I'm making this video at 1:32 in the morning on June 10th, 2022. I could have made a video earlier on Thursday, but I've been dealing with some personal issues, and I will not be able to or film a new commentary about this specific topic due to the fact that I have something going on in the evening. So please forgive me of the fact that I'm making this video at this specific time in this scenario that I made for myself. But nonetheless, I want to talk about the attempted assassination on Brett Kavanaugh. So I don't think I need to get too much into detail about Brett Kavanaugh. He's a Supreme Court justice, the second Supreme Court justice that Trump appointed, with Amy Coney Barrett being the third and Neil Gorsuch being the first. And just recently, a 26-year-old man named Nicholas Rosk went so far as to go from California to his home in D.C., I believe it is, and tried to assassinate Brett Kavanaugh. He did this because of the issue of Roe v. Wade, specifically the leak of the Supreme Court opinion that suggested that the Supreme Court may overturn Roe v. Wade. Personally, again, as I said before in my previous videos, I hope that this turns out to be true because not only due to my pro-life stance, but I don't think this is something that the federal government has any right to be involved in. But nonetheless, here's an opinion piece with the New York Post that actually explains more about this. But I also want to add about this specific article that this attempted assassination also shows a major double standard. I know you're shocked that there's a double standard, but still, I think it's gone crazy, beyond crazy at this point, with the fact that there's just so much political violence that's been going on. It's been occurring ever since the beginning of the Trump administration. Here's the article, and I'm going to be starting on the second paragraph. The mentally disturbed California man was angry about the possibility the court will overturn the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision that legalized abortion. He reportedly told police he intended to murder the judge. Fortunately, he was arrested before he could carry out his evil plot. But in the wake of this incident, it's worth bringing up the speech Schumer made outside the Supreme Court in 2020, warning its conservative majority, particularly Trump appointees Kavanaugh, Neil Gorsuch, that there would be consequences if he and other Democrats disagree with their decisions. This honestly, this does not surprise me, especially with how far the left is willing to go in order to get their way. First, there is a suggestion that a staffer among the Supreme Court actually got a hold of the opinion and leaked it to Politico. I would not be surprised if it was someone on the left, as a means to try to influence the Supreme Court in any way. While not illegal, it definitely I definitely would say this violates their judicial power to a major extent, because, well, they're now being influenced politically by external forces. To be fair, the Supreme Court is pretty political, with a conservative and liberal wing, but nonetheless, that's more internally. At most, the president and Congress can just appoint the nominees and maybe praise or criticize the decisions afterwards, not influence them as the court cases continue. But nonetheless, it has happened with the leaked documents. And as a result of that, there have been protests that have been occurring outside of a lot of the conservative members' houses, despite the fact that, from my understanding, it's illegal to do that to a Supreme Court judge for the same reasons I just mentioned, of influencing a case that's going on. They even got their own addresses doxed, which I know for sure, whether you're a Supreme Court justice or not, is illegal. It's also a sign of harassment. And with this attempted assassination on the conservative justice, this just gets even worse. But I'm not surprised that this is going on. This kind of political violence, especially in concern with the left, has been going on for such a long time. Especially with not only the Democratic Party and the establishment just continually attacking Trump and Trump supporters, but the mainstream media actually exacerbating such claims, whether it is to promote an agenda or something like that, or anything else for that matter. And this kind of rhetoric is very bad. I'm going to get further into this article. Schumer was probably thinking about court packing rather than murder, which, by the way, was a possibility, but thankfully, due to the fact that it's 50-50 split in the Senate, there was no way that was going to happen. But imagine what the reaction would be if former President Donald Trump had said those words and the foiled murder had targeted a liberal justice. They're talking about a speech that Schumer has said, so. The mainstream press would be screaming for Trump to be jailed, and pundits would be attacking Republicans who had not condemned the words that had supposedly led to threats of violence. Of course, that's not what happened in this case, and the Kavanaugh murder plot will likely be quickly forgotten in much the same way the press buried the story of an armed Bernie Sanders supporter attempting to murder Republican congressman at a softball practice in 2017, which I would like to add, nearly cost the life of House Majority Whip Steve Scalise. It took him months, but he managed to recover, thankfully. But this goes to show that there's a major double standard between the left and the right, especially where the mainstream media is concerned. Remember just recently of a black nationalist attempting to kill people at a subway in New York. Thankfully, no one died as a result, but still, many wounded. And yet, the mainstream media tried to bury the fact that he was a black nationalist, and well, he was black. This has happened for so many times. Waukesha, I think that was the name if I remember it correctly, where a black nationalist also used his own SUV to kill seven people who were attending a Christmas Day parade in Wisconsin. And of course, let's not forget about the article said with what happened in 2017, and it even goes further from there. It's not, quote, "It's not as if the media are shy about trying to connect rhetoric and violence. We've heard a great deal about how Trump's words and tweets incited violence from the far right. It didn't matter that the disturbed extremists who murdered 11 worshippers at Pittsburgh synagogue in 2018 have actually condemned Trump in his online rants. Most in the liberal press and political establishment still blame Trump. The same people who have blamed conservatives after other mass shootings, such as the tragic murder of 11 African Americans in Buffalo last month. Despite the fact that in his own manifesto he said he was an authoritarian leftist and did not like Fox News or Donald Trump. And yet the mainstream media tries to constantly twist the truth in order to say that it's a right-wing problem, not a left-wing problem. And the fact that they're doing this, basically, the media, through their actions, through the political establishment's actions, are just condoning this kind of situation. It's fine when the left does it, but when it's the right or possibly the right, it must be condemned all across. This is not a good thing. Absolutely not. It just is causing a much further political divide than there already is. It's just so insane to me. But here's the thing. Sticks Hammer actually I'm in the same agreement with Sticks Hammer on this, on the possibility if Nicholas Rourke had actually did kill Brett Kavanaugh. If that did happen, there would be a massive backlash of the woke ideology, and I would not be surprised if that actually caused bump of support for the Republican Party. And considering that, especially with the fact that there's a 50-50 split in the Senate, the Republicans, even the rhinos, do not want to rock the boat, especially with the fact that Brett Kavanaugh had just been appointed a few years prior. So this would be very political. I don't think Joe Biden would be able to get his own justice on the Supreme Court without a lot of compromises being made. But that would be kind of a low possibility. So there could have been a major possibility of having 8 justices instead of 9, which would cause so many problems for court cases to be ruled upon, especially upon political lines, since there's already a 5-4 decision within the Supreme Court that basically favors conservatives. Why do I think that this is the case? Well, history has set the precedent. In the case of Abraham Lincoln's assassination, Abraham Lincoln was willing to go against his own party to be a little bit more lenient to the South after their defeat. But with the fact that John Wilkes Booth killed President Lincoln, well, the radical Republicans within the Republican Party managed to use this as a rally cry to further punish the South, and which you can see at least the first half of the part of Reconstruction, with many Confederates losing the right to vote, and along with many actions made against the South, such as basically putting them on their military occupation, although that did happen throughout Reconstruction. But I'm just saying that as a point. This has this is insanity. The fact that this is just basically being condoned, buried. I'm going to bet it's going to happen soon. Just only causes this political divide to get even bigger. It's already happening. The threat of the use of violence to promote policies in someone else's favor is being done. Hell, look at Tim Pool or even the courting, for example. Just today, they got raided by a SWAT team for credible threats of violence. This is not the first time this has happened either. In the case of Tim Pool, this is the 4th time that I recall. The quartering, I think this is his first. But nonetheless, it's getting out of control, and there needs to be something done about that. A lot of people, including President Trump, have been trying to call this out, and thank God for that. It needs to be called out. There should be no double standard whatsoever, especially where the media, where the political establishment or the mainstream media is concerned. There should be absolutely none. If they truly care about defending American democracy, or more accurately, the American Republic, they should condemn this, whether it's on the left or on the right. But I completely doubt it. My name is Noah Meehan, Our Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, and share with friends. Also, if you have any issues regarding my videos, such as how I speak, or how I should improve my video, please post them down in the comment section down below, or directly message me. Thank you.